You want your vice president to be ready to lead. She can't even lead her own office. The problem is that she really was elevated above her ability. She was chosen by Joe Biden not because of her quality of her work or her intellect. It was because she was a woman and she was a woman of colour. And that puts her in a bad position and it puts America in a terrible position.
That is New York Post columnist Miranda Devine getting into it over Vice President Kamala Harris amid reports of a toxic work environment and an exodus of her staff. But at least one top aide is insisting nothing to see here. Critics still roasting the vice president's deputy director for operations after he tweeted this: "He absolutely loves his job." One reply: "Blink twice if you need help." White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki asked, if somebody put him up to do that.
I'm not aware of any asks for a positive tweet or a specific tweet. I would point you to the vice president's office, but I work with a number of people in the vice president's office who certainly are looking forward to continuing their jobs.
Fox News contributor Joe Concha in Focus Now. So, John, this isn't just a bit of palace intrigue. I've been talking with lawmakers. They say, look, this may be a forecast of what's to come within that party as far as leadership. We need to know if people can do the job.
It's a great point, Harris. And you just look at the numbers, right? Let's forget about the palace intrigue and she said and he said. It's clear to see why Kamala Harris's office is in turmoil. She is polling at 28%. She rarely speaks to the press. As many Democrats will tell you, she has an authenticity and likability problem. I'll give you one example of how dire things are. When asked in a recent poll by the Hill and Harris X, who would you support if Joe Biden doesn't seek a second term? Kamala Harris clocked in at 13% supporting the idea. Just ahead of Michelle Obama. That's who finished second, who said repeatedly she's not running. She's mostly been off the grid for 5 years. So that's how Plan B in 2024 is going. And you know there's trouble when you have to send out staffers, sending out those photos looking like they're in a hostage situation, saying they love their job. The question is, what happens next? If an 80-something Joe Biden doesn't run, would they be open to an open primary and start over? I think that is going to be the plan if Joe Biden doesn't run. So that's where we are at this point. And again, we're only 11 months in since they took office.
Yeah, we're only 11 months away from the next go-around of elections and midterms. Chris Cuomo announced yesterday, and you and I have been talking about that this was possible, that he is leaving his SiriusXM radio show just days after CNN fired him. He also reportedly plans to sue CNN for a big chunk of change. Chris Cuomo also facing sexual misconduct accusations, as is his fellow anchor, Don Lemon, who faces claims he acted inappropriately toward a man in a bar on Long Island in 2018. That accuser went after the network, saying, quote, "They're a predator-protecting machine. They slander and smear victims with impunity. They are complicit. This is who they are." That's from an alleged victim. Joe.
Wow. Well, I guess this is the turmoil segment, because speaking of turmoil, CNN should just be called the chaos news network at this point, at least internally, right? I mean, first you have Chris Cuomo, who you brought up, the guy who wasn't reprimanded for faking his own quarantine when he had COVID, the guy who wasn't reprimanded for coaching those appearing on the network before interviews on questions and answers. That's fireable alone. The guy who received COVID testing before anyone else did in New York, courtesy of his brother, the guy who attempted to smear credible accusers of sexual harassment and lied about doing so. And now he's going to sue CNN for millions because he says top brass knew about everything he was doing and was okay with it. Boy, if this goes to trial, can you imagine what the discovery stage is going to look like? Because this isn't like the old mob, right? You've seen Goodfellas. You use a payphone, so the conversation isn't recorded. You get the feeling there's a paper trail here, Harris. Emails, texts, you name it. And then you have, to your point, anchor Don Lemon.
All right, hold on. Let's slow the train for just a second, because you mentioned a key point, what I call receipts. You talked about that paper trail, the digital trail with Jussie Smollett. Did you see this one coming? The intersection of Jussie Smollett on trial right now and Don Lemon. Yesterday, he testified, Smollett, that he got text messages from Don Lemon, supposedly relaying that the Chicago Police Department didn't believe Smollett's accounting of what happened. And at the time, Lemon told his viewers that the story was personal, since they were acquaintances and they had texted after the alleged 2019 incident. What to make of this?
It's like watching the whole Cuomo episode now replay itself with Don Lemon.
Ooh.
He tipped off somebody who was under investigation about the Chicago Police Department not believing his story. And that prompted Smollett, according to Smollett, for whatever that's worth, to withhold evidence, such as his phone and those records. So now CNN needs to address this next. But of course they haven't, because they don't do so until they absolutely have to. And you have to wonder, Harris, while all this is going on, what the top shareholder in John Malone of Liberty Media is thinking, because now he's the top shareholder of CNN, because he recently said CNN needs to get back to journalism. He praised Fox News for its journalistic performance in the process,
many
and said
do.
CNN, yeah, I know, that was interesting. He did so on CNBC, so it's, you know, it's all
So-
crazy.
so-
Yeah.
Just real quickly, your last thought on where this goes now, because, you know, Don Lemon can say, well, I was just trying to buddy up so I could get the booking of this person for an exclusive interview or something. I mean, but when you talk about receipts, when you have those text messages, your last word.
Yeah, well, the problem is that he told Smollett what he heard from his sources within the Chicago Police Department. So it's no longer like I'm trying to help a friend. You're trying to affect an investigation. This is serious stuff. So this isn't the last time this is going to go away. And I think many changes are going to be made at CNN, both in front of the camera and behind it, because this cannot continue, particularly when you've lost nearly 80% of your audience since the beginning of the year, Harris.
Well, that's cash. And if Chris Cuomo wins any money, that's cash, too. Oh, my goodness. And the big boss watches Fox. Headline. Good to see you. Thank you.